Where did you find Phoebe Ray? Did you put out a call, or how do you get somebody to play that role?
We sent out radar signals. No, it was really hard. It was a long 2-year process. Hollywood is not it's not known to be very welcoming to people with disabilities in terms of in front of or behind the camera, and hopefully we're shifting that. It's getting a little better, little better. But yeah, we reached out to not only agencies and managers, but also CP organizations and disability rights organizations and doctors' offices and physical therapy offices, and we cast a very wide net, and then found Phoebe, and she's amazing.
Did you have concerns though about working with somebody with a disability? Do you think, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, or
No, not at all. Not at all. It was, I mean, it's funny. No. Now looking back and I'm like, should I have? No, I did not. It was wonderful. It was wonderful.
I wanted to find the swearing function on that the typewriter thing. I thought I would solve that problem in a minute just by having that. But
It does
that's
exist.
just
It does exist. You can. It's a Disney movie, so we couldn't.
you've got to clean that up. Look, it seems like she has a better relationship with her father. Is there a reason for that?
Well, sorry, I don't mean to jump in, Luke, but it was really important that the parents both wanted what was best for their kids, but were on opposite sides of the spectrum, and also it's set in 2002, which is a very different period in time in terms of what's called mainstreaming, in terms of classrooms. And so it was important that we portray Diane as somebody who wanted to always keep her child safe, never let her be bullied, never let her be made fun of, always keep her protected and safe. And that Chuck, Luke's character, be somebody who saw her potential and wanted her to be able to take risks and experience new things and learn new things, even if that meant that maybe she would be put into situations where she could potentially be not as safe or not as protected. And so, we wanted to kind of create that while both parents actively love their child and want what's best for their child, they were kind of going about it in different ways. But Luke can speak to that as well.
That was really nice for me to get to, I mean, albeit unfamiliar for my own life, to play a man who's right about everything.
You were good cop. Come on, that was your place in this world.
I mean, it's very clear that they're dynamic. They have. This is a couple who is, they're a real couple, and they're trying to figure out life together, and it's not easy, as we know. And they come at it from different different ways.
This film could be a real game changer for schools, because now when they're turning a lot of things back to states to make decisions, they're allowing voucher systems and private schools to have a say in these things. And then some of those private schools aren't letting students in with disabilities. How do you make that message heard so that they do something about this?
I'm really glad you asked that question. It is a very complicated answer, and one that I don't have the complete answer to, but I will say that as a parent myself, in public schools, I have had to fight for my own children to get what they legally were entitled to in terms of their education. And so I know some of what Chuck and Diane were going through. I'm very much a believer in public education and the importance of public education. Obviously our country has just voted in an administration that does not believe in public education and openly mocks people with disabilities. And that is very disheartening and scary. But I do hope that this film in some way is a drop in the bucket of getting people to be more open-minded, compassionate, empathetic when it comes to people with different physical abilities and varying learning styles. I don't know. I mean, I really, that's such an interesting question, Bruce. I love that you asked it, and I really don't have the answer. I wish I did. I will say that I'm a passionate advocate for public education, and I don't think our country has supported public education nearly enough in the last 200 years. And a lot of why we are where we are right now culturally is because of that.
Luke, have you encountered people with disabilities that you had to adapt to somehow, or how did that work with you?
I've had, and my father he worked as a public school teacher, and he had a student that had CP, and I have very, very fond memories of being together with him and his class when I was young. I worked as a camp counselor, and we had campers in the same situation. So there was sort of a familiarity. In terms of the adapting to it, that's a bit, those are just sort of little shifts that you have to make that are about physical stuff, how to get a person into a building, that kind of thing. But the bigger illumination of that experience for me has been that the bridge is very short in terms of understanding each other. And it's that kind of, for me, it's the thing that I keep coming up against, is that we all have a lot in common, and that I think we kind of need each other.
And I find that they're more resilient than we are. I find
Oh,
that,
well, the fight is in there, yeah.
and they are able to adapt maybe better than I would be in a situation like that. And I think
Yeah.
we cut that short. I think we tend to hold back and say, oh, I better not say that, or better not ask that. And they've already been there.
Yeah.
Isn't this a series of books? And is the idea that you could do more?
Yes, so she had just Sharon M. Draper, the author, just released the third one. So there's Out of My Heart, Out of My Mind, and Out of My Dreams. And yeah, so there could be 3 movies if people
Good. Bring them.
watch this one enough. Then maybe.
Bring them. We're ready for them. Hey, thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.